Hey friends, welcome back. My name is Melissa Kay, former social worker turned entrepreneur, and on this channel we dive into all things mindset, self-development, and self-care so you can start having a strategy to take action and start unlocking your full potential. Before we get into the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe and that bell so you don't miss out on any of the tips and tricks I share and you can get started on transforming your life today. In my last couple videos, we did a deep dive into mindset, self-development, and self-care. Today, we're taking a look at limiting beliefs. I'm going to explain to you what they are, my journey with them, how they impact you, and we're going to create a strategy of where to start to tackle these limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are normal. It is our way that our brain protects us. Our brain's number one goal in life is to keep us safe. And so staying inside our comfort zone is safe. It's predictable. And when we start to go outside of our comfort zone, that's when we start to see a lot of these limiting beliefs. First thing I want you to do is just remember that they are normal. Otherwise, what we tend to do is create a new limiting belief, thinking we're weak because we have these thoughts or we're not like everyone else. But I'm here to remind you they are normal, and what we're going to do is build a strategy to start to turn down the noise of those limiting beliefs so we can still take action, walk through them, manage that fear, and reach our goals on the other side. So the first thing we need to do in today's video is have a solid definition of what is a limiting belief. A limiting belief is a state of mind or thought that you have that you take as an absolute truth and it is limiting you in some way. So you can have limiting beliefs about yourself. You can also have them about others and the world. An example of a limiting belief about yourself would be telling yourself, I can't balance work life and personal life. You see the black and white thinking, the word can't, you're not able to, there's no exceptions there, and it's about yourself. Versus saying or thinking something such as, there's no way to balance personal life and work-life balance. That brings in everyone. It's a generic statement about everyone, not just yourself. But both are limiting in that you don't believe that there's any way to contradict that and you cannot achieve this work-life, personal life balance. We can start to pick up on limiting beliefs based on the language. We use exclusive language in limiting beliefs. So words like can't, never, not able, impossible, words that exclude either you or the world from something. Limiting beliefs are also black and white. There isn't this ability to change. So things such as money is hard to earn or change is impossible. There's a firm belief that this statement is true and it's not able to be altered. I break down limiting beliefs into three categories. The first category is something that limits your own actions. So an example would be a thought of, I can't start a YouTube channel or grow on YouTube. You see how this belief is limiting your actions, and likely if you believe that this is true, you're not going to take action to try to grow on YouTube or create a channel. The next category is a limiting belief that somehow puts some limitation on your identity or you label yourself creating this limiting belief. So an example for that would be, I'm not a morning person. This is a label that you've put on yourself and it's part of now your identity and it can limit how you see yourself. The third category for limiting beliefs is the belief system you have around how the world works and how others are. An example of this would be people are selfish and can't be trusted. Now, this is a statement about the world and people in general, but it impacts your actions. You might be more cautious or more hesitant to engage with new people because of this belief. So why are limiting beliefs so powerful and why do we need a strategy to start to tackle them? What we have to remember is that our thoughts impact our actions and our feelings. So think of this scenario. Think Jeff Bezos, first starting Amazon, started to think to himself, I can't run a business. This is really hard. This is too hard. How different would not only his life look, but the world? If there was no Amazon, if those thoughts impacted him to decide to take the action not to continue with Amazon. Now, scaling it back to your own life, think of times when you've used or had a limiting thought and it's impacted your actions. Maybe you haven't taken the action, or notice and see how it impacts your feelings. Oftentimes, what limiting beliefs do is they create a feeling of fear. And again, what we need to remember is that is our brain's way to protect us, but we don't always need protecting in that moment. So what we need is a strategy to help us. The other thing we have to remember about limiting beliefs is they are often in our subconscious, and that's because it's a way for our brain to save energy. Think of how much time and energy would be spent if we have to constantly be thinking and evaluating these things at a conscious level. So what we need to do then is really have a plan and strategy to bring them to awareness so we can start tackling them. And I can tell you, I am someone who has a history and experiences limited beliefs often. And when I was younger, before I became aware of them, it would stop me from a lot of things. I would be the person who would quit something after a couple weeks because I started to believe that I couldn't figure it out. Or I would be the person who avoided things because I was so afraid of failing that I just didn't even want to try. And so you can see how for me, my limiting beliefs really impacted both my actions and my feelings around failure and ultimately hindered me. But what I can tell you is that I've created a strategy, because had I not created a strategy, my limiting beliefs would have stopped me from being here. It would have stopped me from starting a YouTube channel, stopped me from starting my business. The first thing that I did, and the steps that you can start today, are just to simply notice your language. Remember how a lot of limiting beliefs are in your subconscious, so you have to start to identify what they even are. And remember, a lot of our limiting beliefs we can figure out by the language we use. What are you saying can't do, or impossible, or is very black and white in a limiting way? Now, sometimes it's hard to notice your language, so I suggest journaling is a great way to do it. Start writing down your thoughts. As you write down your thoughts, you're going to pick up on this language. You can also seek a trusted friend. They might hear your language more than you do. Just simply say, hey, I'm starting this journey on limiting beliefs and uncovering them. Have you ever noticed certain ways that I talk? And chances are they might notice more than you. The other thing to do is just simply sit in your thoughts. When we are more aware and we take time to be intentional, we can really notice what we're saying to ourselves. The next step is digging a little deeper into the root cause of the limiting belief. For me, a lot of my limiting beliefs were around I can't do something, it's too hard. But really the root of those limiting beliefs was my fear of failure, and also I was not great at not having control. So when I can understand that, I can then build a strategy to help me. I can create grounding techniques when I'm feeling fearful of failing. I can use affirmations to remind myself to keep going and also remind myself of what I have overcome. I can also rely on friends to support me in situations that I know I might feel less in control or the fear of failure might pop up. So it's really important to understand the root and start building strategies to support that. The next thing that I started to do was make small language shifts. So remember, limiting beliefs are very black and white. You want to shift out of that black and white thought process. One way to do that is adding the word yet at the end. So an example for me would be, I can't do this, but changing that to I can't do it yet. That simple shift is giving you the motivation to keep going. It's telling you that you can figure it out, and your actions are more likely to continue to try to figure it out versus to just give up. And the final thing that I did and still do today is seek support. I have a group of trusted people that I can go to if I feel overwhelmed by my limiting beliefs or if I need to process something. And I know that they are going to tell me the truth if my limiting beliefs are getting in my own way. I also have worked with coaches because they've been able to see things that I might be missing and can give me really good strategies on how to tackle my limiting beliefs. Now you can start using this strategy to still be able to take the action, walk through the fear, turn down the noise of the limiting belief, and reach your goals on the other side. Thanks for watching, and let me know in the comments if you have any more questions about limiting beliefs. I will see you in the next video.